What's up, guys? Tuki here, back again with some more NHL 16 and my Vancouver Canucks GM mode. This is episode 2, and in this episode, we will work our way up towards the trade deadline. Maybe we'll stop at the All-Star break, as I tend to do, but we are going to get a decent bit of the sim done. And I'll already pose the question to you guys now, so just keep this in mind. What do we do with our big players if we are not in the playoff structure by the trade deadline or around them, whenever the hell we stop? I really want to pose that question to you guys again. I love getting your feedback and your input and allow you guys to help shape this series. So let me know, keep an eye out, and I'll of course try to give you as much information as I can on how certain players are doing. But our first bit of business in this episode is to send an offer to Jimmy Vesey. We will see if he accepts. We've also changed up our lineups just a little bit. We don't have much cap space, so it'll have to be a one-year deal, but we will see if he gets back to us. If he signs, I'll probably play him in the NHL just to see how that goes. But let's take a look here now at the month ahead. In November, we will sim... Oh, Buffalo is not doing too well, so at least that's realistic. Let's sim up to this Buffalo game. We'll give Markstrom that game. Ryan Miller, of course, in goal for us. At the moment, I will take care of that scouting assignment once we hear back from Vesey. We lose in overtime or in a shootout to Philly, but Jimmy Vesey has accepted our offer. He is in, and let's go take care of that lineup right now, and we'll take care of the morale shit too. Okay, well, better yet, the game decided to sim ahead anyway once I took care of the player morale, so we lose to Pittsburgh as well. Now, let's go take care of that lineup. Going forward, we are going to keep Jimmy Vesey down in Utica and put him here by default, and of course, he will get top line time. In the NHL, we've already switched up the lineups just a little bit. Burrows, Sutter, Higgins, now the second line. Kajula, Horvat, and Hansen on the third line. Edom, Vey, and Virtanen on the fourth. Markstrom is in goal for this game against Buffalo. Let's see how he does. We have a 5-6-2 record up to this point, and we get a nice 5-2 win against an Eastern Conference opponent. As I said in the last episode, I don't expect much from this team, but I'm at least intrigued to see, with how random the sim is in this game, if we can somehow turn this into a winning team without really having to make any moves. And going forward here, we are actually going to sim quite a bit. We are going to sim up to this other New Jersey game 2 weeks away. Ryan Miller, 7 games. What can you do? Alright, well, unfortunately, we've lost the last 3 games, so we were going to put Markstrom in anyway, and then we see that Alex Edler will be out for a few days. It's not that long, thankfully, but any bit of time he misses is really going to be detrimental to us. So we'll go best lines for the moments. And honestly, I'm going to keep this the way it is. I really don't think it's going to make that much of a difference. But Markstrom's coming in. He's dropped an overall point already, which is a little bit disappointing. And Matt Bartkowski is in the lineup. But let's see what happens here. I guess we'll go live since we're already here. And let's sim these next few games. If Markstrom can get a couple wins here, he might be the starter for the meantime. It's a shootout loss to Toronto. I will have to take care of the scouting assignment. Obviously, scouting in the first week, as considering there's 199 forwards, scouting is super important in the first year. We are going to have to put Alex Edler back in. I'm just going to go best lines. It'll put Ryan Miller back in, but that is fine. We lose to Montreal, so maybe it's not fine that we put Ryan Miller back in. God damn it. Coming back from the player morale, it did sim the Winnipeg game. That was also a 4-3 loss. We fall to 6-10-4 on the season. The game against Chicago, as you would expect, we lose that as well. Growing pains here, growing pains. This is going to be a very rough season, and I have a feeling the general consensus is going to be, rather than trying to improve on what's already here, I have a strong feeling the consensus from you guys is going to be just blow it up, get rid of Edler, Hamhuis, Sedins, just blow the whole thing to pieces. And I gotta admit that would probably be the more fun way to go about things, because we do not have many pieces to work with to make things better. We lose 3-1. This month has been terrible for us, just absolutely terrible for us. And God, I wouldn't even know what to do with the lineups at this point. I would not even know what to do. We'll put Ryan Miller back in. I think I'm going to drop Prust down to the fourth line. Even Kajula is down an overall point. That's how bad this team is performing right now. This is going to be miserable, but hey, Vancouver fans, you're used to it, aren't you? Cheap shots. So many cheap shots. Let's sim ahead. The fucking LA Kings are 16-2-2. So we'll feed Ryan Miller to them. So we'll sim the next two games. We'll go live. Screw it. We're already doing it. If you guys are used to the Bruins GM mode, you know I like to do a lot of flash forwarding, fast forwarding. English, man. Jesus. We win. We won a game, though, in a shootout. Holy shit, that's just our second win this month. My God. Just our second win of the month. That is... God, that is rough. That is rough, man. Like, even in the Bruins GM mode, you know, we didn't always have the most amount of success, but we were normally a decent regular season team. So take a look at this team that has some similar overalls and give me some slack, because it's not that bad of a team. The good thing is Kajula's up now to an 82 overall. I'm going to leave it the same. I'm going to have to take a look and make some big changes, but I think those big changes are going to be in the next episode. Markstrom loses in a shootout, but hey, a point's a point. You know, I'm not even gonna feed you guys that lie. Point's a point. We are fucked. We are not making the playoffs unless you guys insist that we try to improve this team right off the bat rather than waiting until free agency. And that's another big point. If we do decide to improve this team, do we go with it immediately at the trade deadline, or do we wait until free agency? Because we could sell during the trade deadline, hopefully get some of our guys, hopefully their value will be a bit overinflated at that point. We can get a good return for them, and then starting in free agency, we can look to bring in players. There's a lot of ways we can approach this, and I haven't exactly settled on one yet. But as we've entered the month of December, we have a 3-3 record thus far. That is a massive improvement. I will take that for sure. And Markstrom gets the Philadelphia Flyers. Hopefully, he can do something good here. Kajula, the main man I'm keeping my eye on here, still an 82 overall. Let's actually check down in Utica. Jimmy Vesey already up a couple overall points as well, up to a 79. So here, I'm kind of excited. By the way, Marcus Granlund, highly overrated in this GM mode. He should not be a top 9. But when we do trade people, if we do trade people, we have Vesey, McCann, Granlund, Ronald Kennens, who for some reason is also a top 6 forward potential. My God, is that a little bit of EA bias, I sense? A little bit of EA Vancouver bias, I sense? It couldn't be. Markstrom against Philly gets a 2-0 win. If Ryan Miller loses this next game, we will go with Markstrom for the time being, because why the hell not? Actually, how is Markstrom doing this season? Markstrom has, well, actually both of our goalies have a relatively good save percentage considering our dreadful record. So maybe not. Maybe we'll cut Ryan Miller a little bit of slack here. It is clearly just the team in front of him. Miller against Detroit. 5-1 loss. See you later, Ryan. We're putting in Markstrom. Why the hell not? This season is going to be brutal. And if anything, it's just kind of waiting for this episode to end. I just want to see where we stand and what you guys suggest we should do. So that is why we are going to fast forward here through the rest of December into January. We may end the episode at the All-Star break. That's usually where I like to stop, but we are going to fast forward well ahead. The Washington Capitals actually have a bad team this year, so we're going up to that game. Let's see what Ryan Miller can do. So accidentally I said let's see what Ryan Miller could do. Obviously Markstrom was in, but maybe Ryan Miller should have been in. We've lost 3 straight. I'm going to put Miller back in. Our locker room chemistry is dreadful, unsurprisingly. How could anybody really be happy at this point? How is Markstrom? Yeah, Markstrom's save percentage has plummeted. Ryan Miller's continues to drop as well. And actually, let's take a quick look at some of these stats. How are the Sedins doing? 19 points apiece. That makes sense. Radim Verbata struggling a little bit. Kajula, not too bad. 22 points. Sutter struggling a little bit. Not too bad. In assists, my God, Emerson Needham is garbage. Minus 22. What the hell? Prost and Dorsett might have to... You know, I'm gonna mess with this lineup really quick. So this might be a bit controversial. We're gonna send Jake Virtanen down to the minors, so maybe he can experience what it's like to win this season. He's a 77. He's not going to... At least I don't think he's gonna grow as much as we need him to. I'd love to obviously put him on the top line in the AHL, but we are going to send him down to junior for the rest of this season. We're looking to make another move here. I want to call up Nikita Tramkin and get him into the lineup full time. I'm going to risk losing Bartkowski and Yannick Weber because who cares if we actually lose them? We didn't lose either of them. I don't care that, you know, if their morale is low or whatever, because honestly, it doesn't matter. They have very low trade value anyway. So I am fine with that. And side note, Stetcher is also doing pretty well, up to a 77 overall as well, with 10 goals and 10 assists. So moving forward, top line stays the same. Second line, we've moved up Jannik Hansen. Third line, we have Burrows, Horvat, and Higgins. Prost, Vey, and Dorsett. On the fourth line, it is currently Emerson Edom, the man left out. He's just been god-awful. And defensively, we have Tramkin, who, as you saw, actually, I don't know if you saw, he was an 81 overall. He's dropped back down to an 80 due to being nervous, but that is okay. So here we go. Let's do this. Let's continue onward with this new lineup into the month of January, and I will call it quits at the end of this month. But let's move forward with Ryan Miller back in goal. A game against Anaheim, we get a surprising win, an overtime win, another win against Arizona, loss against Carolina. Hey, 2 wins in the month already. We're on a good pace. I don't care about trade offers either. I don't see that problem too often. A 4-1 win against Tampa, 3-2 loss against Florida, so not too bad. Heading into the Washington game, a 16-22-5 record. We are still 6th in the Pacific, at least as I would expect. But Ryan Miller, not too bad. He got us a couple of wins. Let's see what Markstrom can do. He absolutely blew his last chance. As my voice starts to give out, he absolutely blew his last chance. We get an 8-4 win. What is going on in Washington where they would lose to this team and give up 8 goals? That just shows you how random this GM mode is, as if anybody needed any more proof than just simply playing the mode for themselves. But let's go ahead now. Ryan Miller is back in. We have 6 games left before the All-Star break. We're going to sim forward to it, see where we stand, maybe look over some stats, and that'll be it for this episode, guys. So there you have it. We finish with a 2-4 record in those 6 games. We round out this episode with a 19-25-6 record. The Utica Comets aren't too bad, which is a pretty good sign, but we are still in 6th place in our division. Drake Caggiula leads our team in points and is currently an 84 overall. I will take that all goddamn day. We're currently 4 points behind Arizona. My God, we are absolute basement dwellers. Are we second last? Is Edmonton last again? Wow, Washington dead last. Holy shit. But we are currently in 28th in the entire NHL. That's just lovely. But again, as I said, I want your input on what we do moving forward. Do we get rid of the big names? Or do we try to rebuild? Do we try to rebuild already here? Do we try to make moves at the trade deadline? Or should I sell off some of my guys and do stuff in the off season? What do you guys want me to do? What direction do we take this team moving forward? If you ask me, I say we sell. And I say we sell everything. Ryan Miller, absolutely gone. Markstrom, maybe we keep him. Maybe we get him as a backup. Maybe we sign somebody else, but neither are very good as you would expect. I don't expect any goalie to be able to carry this team right now. But if it's up to me, Dan Hamhuis, I respect him as a player big time. He's gone. Alex Edler's only 29? I mean, realistically, Hamhuis and Edler could both fit into our future plans, but they also have very high trade value right now. We have Ben Hutton, not having the greatest season, but he is definitely a future piece. Yannick Weber, who we sent down to the AHL, I got no problem just trading him for a bag of pucks. Chris Tanev, obviously a big part of this team, moving forward in his last year of development. Lucas Spiza, not too bad. We can have him as a sixth defenseman. Nikita Tramkin, obviously a big part of this lineup moving forward. We have just a ton of guys down in the AHL that we can get rid of. Radim Vrbata. If we let go of the Sedins, do we let go of Radim Vrbata as well? Yannick Hansen, Derek Dorsett, obviously Jake Virtanen now back down in the juniors. That's the word for it, juniors. Drake Caggiula has been an absolute beast so far this season. I'm absolutely loving that. Alex Burrows could go. Literally any name you see here could go. The only untouchable for me in this forward core is Drake Caggiula. But guys, that'll do it for this episode. Thank you so much for checking this out. And again, if you didn't watch the Bruins GM Mode series, but you're watching this one now, first of all, thank you. And really that would just reaffirm to me that it was a good idea to start this new series now. But let me know down in the comments below what we should do moving forward. The sooner you let me know, the sooner I know when to move forward and get that next episode up. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.